Hello children, today we are going to discuss about the vocabulary and the grammar part that is given in Unit 5 of your textbook. In your textbook in Unit 5, you have given about compound adjectives, phrasal verbs, and the grammar part is related to adverbial classes. Now, let's begin our discussion with the compound adjectives. We all know that an adjective is a word that tells us the quality of a noun. And as the name suggests, compound adjective. A compound adjective is a combo or combination of two adjectives or a word with another adjective before a noun. It becomes a compound adjective. The compound adjective may differ in meaning from the meaning of its components. Here I mean to say that the two words that are used to form a compound adjectives may have different meaning, but when they are used as a compound adjective, it will convey an entirely different meaning. Now, let's see some possible combinations of compound adjectives. We have so many combinations. I will try to give you the details one after the other, starting from a number with the noun. Here I mean to say is that if the word that describes about number is used along with the noun, it gives a compound adjective, as in this example. Few is the word that describes the number, and noun, minutes, is the word that is a noun. And when these two words are used together as a combination, it gives us a new compound adjective, that is few minutes. Let's see another example. 3 hours, 3 hours. Let's see one example that is taken from your textbook itself. 10 story. Okay. Now, we can use adjective in combination with a noun to form a beautiful compound adjective, like last minute. Last is adjective, minute is the noun. See one more example. Full length. I am giving you one more example. Short term. You can use present participle along with an adjective to form a compound adjective, like in this example. Good is the adjective, looking is present participle. You know, the ing form of the verb is called as present participle. So good is adjective, looking is present participle. When used together, it is good looking. Now I am giving you one more example. Long lasting. Now we can use present participle along with the noun in combination to give this to give the following compound adjectives, like mouth watering. Mouth is noun, watering is present participle. Mouth watering. Time saving. Yeah, you can use adverb along with past participle, like in this example, brightly lit. You can see that brightly is adverb here, and lit is the past participle of the verb light. So brightly lit. Well known. Well is adverb. Known is the past participle of the verb knew. Now, you can use adjective in combination with past participle to give this beautiful compound adjective, like old fashioned, ready made. Now, a noun can also be used as a combo along with an adjective, like in this example, world famous. Now world famous is the compound adjective. Smoke free is the compound adjective. Now we can use noun in combination with past participle to give this beautiful compound adjective middle-aged. Middle-aged. See one more example: sun dried. Sun dried. Okay. Now all the combinations that I have discussed with you a little while ago are now given in the form of a table. You can see a number plus noun, adjective plus noun, adjective plus present participle along with the examples, noun plus present participle, noun plus adjective, noun plus past participle, and adverb in combo with past participle, and last but not the least, adjective in combination with past participle along with the examples. Let's have a look at this table. Okay, now I will move further. Okay, now the second component of the vocabulary part from the unit 5 is phrasal verbs. A phrasal verb is one such technique, I can say that by bringing about a little change in the phrasal verb, we can change the meaning of the entire sentence. That is the beauty of the phrasal verb. And see, let us try to understand these phrasal verbs in detail. A phrasal verb is a verb followed by a preposition or an adverbial particle. It gives us a single independent unit of meaning. Here I mean to say that the verb part may have a different meaning, the preposition part may have a different meaning, but when they are used together as a phrasal verb, put together, it conveys an entirely different meaning. Okay. Now, phrasal verbs are categorized into 4 different forms, and they are transitive phrasal verbs, intransitive phrasal verbs, separable phrasal verbs, and inseparable phrasal verbs. Now let's try to understand what these types are in detail, along with some examples. Transitive phrasal verbs. Here, transitive phrasal verbs are those which require an object. It means that we know that in any sentence, a sentence consists of 3 main parts. 1, the subject, 2, the verb, and 3, the object. Here it means that a verb requires an object, and such a kind of verbs are called transitive verbs. Now if a phrasal verb requires for sure an object and that doesn't convey any fuller meaning without an object, that is called transitive phrasal verb. Like as you can see in this example, she looks after the child. In this sentence, she is the subject, look in isolation, look when separated, it's the verb, after is the preposition. Now we are using look plus after, look after, as this is a sentence in which the subject is third person, verb takes S form, so she looks after is the phrasal verb. Now this particular phrasal verb doesn't convey any meaning without an object. So here it takes an object compulsory. So she looks after the child. You see one more example. They have called off the meeting. So who have called off the meeting? Of course they have called off. But they have called off? They have called off the meeting. So here in this particular sentence, the phrasal verb for sure requires an object, and without object that sentence goes meaningless. Now let's try to understand. Here, without an object, the above sentences are meaningless. The second type of phrasal verbs, intransitive phrasal verbs. As the name suggests, intransitive means that doesn't require an object. See, you can understand this particular intransitive phrasal verb with this following example. The patient passed away. So in this sentence we can see the subject and the verb part, but it doesn't require any object, because who has passed away? The patient itself has passed away. So it doesn't require any object here. So the patient passed away. See one more example. The thief ran away. Okay. Now you can observe that object makes no sense here. And such kind of phrasal verbs are called intransitive phrasal verbs. Now let's have a quick look at the separable phrasal verbs. Here separable means we can separate the two parts of the phrasal verb. The two parts are one part, the first part is of verb and the second part is of the preposition. So we can separate these two parts and use at different places in a single sentence. And such kind of phrasal verbs are called separable phrasal verbs. So what words can be separated for using in different parts of a sentence? For example, turn on the lights is the regular way of conversation, regular way of expressing one sentence. But see here, turn on is the phrasal verb. What we are turning on? We are turning on the lights. You can separate turn and on and bring something else in the middle of these two words, like turn the lights on. So this expression also considered in English language. So as we are separating turn and on and putting something else in between them, so we can say that this is a separable phrasal verb. See one more example. I will pick up you from the bus stand. Pick up is the phrasal verb, but what I am doing in the next sentence, I am separating pick and up and bringing you in the middle. I will pick you up from the bus stop. So here pick up, pick you up is separable phrasal verbs. Now the last one, inseparable phrasal verb. As the title suggests, we cannot separate phrasal verb. I mean the two components, we cannot separate it. If separated, they goes meaningless. So the words cannot be separated. Let's see an example. He is looking at the poster. You cannot separate looking and at. So that doesn't convey any sort of sense. So he is looking at the poster. Suppose if you separate it like this, he is looking the poster at, it doesn't carry any meaning, it becomes senseless. So here you are not supposed to separate looking at. So he is looking at the poster is the right way of expression. See, I would like to give one important information here. All intransitive verbs are inseparable in nature. I repeat once again, all intransitive verbs are inseparable phrasal verbs. And the grammar part that we are going to discuss in this 5th unit is adverbial clauses. The very beginning, the very basic thing is that a clause. What is a clause? A clause is nothing but a part of a sentence. I can say that a half sentence. For your understanding only, I am telling you that a clause is nothing but a half sentence. That doesn't make any full sense. This half sentence requires a main sentence. So for the main sentence, we are using additional half sentence or additional sentence as a clause to make it more meaningful. That's it. So that becomes adverbial clause. So an adverbial clause is a dependent clause. So we can say that we can see two clauses in complex and compound sentences, one main clause and one dependent clause. So an adverbial clause is a dependent clause. It functions as an adverb. Entire clause modifies a verb, an adjective or another verb. Though it is an adverbial, though it is a clause, it contains a subject and a predicate. Okay. Now, in the form of a picture, I am trying to give you more idea about the adverbial clauses. An adverb clause comprises a subject and a verb, and that's why not every group word is an adverb clause. All the at the start of every adverb clause there is a subordinate conjunction like after, although, because, so, if, so that. So you can identify an adverbial clause by the words, by some conjunctions like after, although, because, so, and if, something like that. While, when. A sentence composed of a group of words that functions as an adverb and does not comprise of a subject and a verb, then it is an adverb phrase only. It is not called as adverbial clause. Hope you got the clear idea about adverbial clause. Now, what is the main function of an adverbial clause? An adverb clause is used in a sentence to add relevant and descriptive information to your content. Where we can use what is the position of adverbial clause in the sentence and what is the placement where we can use an adverbial clause. When an adverbial clause is placed at the start of a sentence, it is usually followed by a comma. Yeah, if it is used at the end of the sentence, it doesn't require any special punctuation. Okay, keep this thing in your mind. Right. There are certain different types of adverbial clauses which are meant to denote different components like time, place, condition, manner, reason, effect, comparison, contrast, and purpose. So different conjunctions are used. Here you can see a detailed list of different adverbial clause conjunctions. For example, if you're talking about time, you can use the words, conjunctions like when, whenever, before, after, as, while, unit, as soon as, since. If you're talking about place, you can use the conjunctions like when, whenever, everywhere. In case of condition, if, unless, provided that. Okay. For manner, you can use the conjunction like, as though, as it. To talk about the reasons, you can use because, since, as. To tell about the effect, you can use so, that as a combination, and you can see so that is separated with another adjective there, such that, like so that, such that is separated with the adjective. Comparison, to compare, you can use when, whenever, everywhere. And for contrast, you can use although, though, even it, even though, whereas. To talk about the purposes, you can use so that, lest, in order that. So you have a detailed list of different adverbial conjunctions that you can use along with adverbial clauses. Okay. Right. In your examination, obviously you will be asked in such a way that some sentences the examiner will underline one sentence and he intentionally leaves one blank there. Okay. And underneath the passage he will ask a question like this. So let's see some sample questions. The first question, blank, he thinks he is smart, isn't. Here the right conjunction will be although he thinks he is smart, isn't. Look at one more sample question. The second question, you should keep the milk in the fridge, blank, it doesn't go bad. So here we are talking about the reason. So to convey the reason, we can use the conjunction so that. You should keep the milk in the fridge so that it doesn't go bad. The third question, blank. He always did well on his English tests. His parents were not surprised that he got an A grade. So here he talking about the result. So since he always did well on his English tests. That's all for today, folks. Bye.